I think that there's folks who are definitely implicated and co-conspirators. And, I don't think everyone there that was talking about underage girls being trafficked are victims.
Got it. And do you support any clemency for Ghislaine Maxwell? She was saying that
I do not. Okay. I think Ghislaine Maxwell should get more time, and she should definitely be in a harsher prison than what she's in.
And Congresswoman Lauren Boebert joins me now. Congresswoman, the White House was not pleased when you stood up months ago and said you wanted these files to be made public. You kept pushing for answers, and we appreciate you joining us tonight. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It is very important for me to honor campaign promises, and that's exactly what I did in standing up for the victims who are named in these files, and certainly going after the co-conspirators and those who actually worked with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein directly.
Okay, so let's get specific then. What have you seen that has repulsed you, I guess, because most people have not seen the unredacted files? Are there new co-conspirators? Are there people you want to demand accountability from? What have you seen, and what do you want to do about it?
Yes, so I have been reviewing the documents in hopes to better understand the truth about what happened. And what I can report today is that these individuals were engaging in sick acts that went beyond abusing young women, and that the groomers and recruiters were primarily women. It was women that brought these girls in, lieutenants of Maxwell. And I want to know why they haven't been held to account. I believe that there are co-conspirators who are listed in these files as co-conspirators and executive assistants to these two sick individuals who should be brought before the public, who should be named, who have been previously named in other public documents. And certainly there needs to be justice. And maybe if the statute of limitations has passed, well, that doesn't mean that they should not go through the public shame of the disgust that they were engaged in.
So let me be clear. Your Democrat colleague, Ro Khanna, went to the House floor with protected speeches, a few nights ago, and named 6 men that he says allegedly committed crimes. He put their names out there. Everybody can find that online. You're saying there are women as well. We should hold the men accountable, but there are women. Will you be naming names eventually? Are you confident that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, is going to follow up on this?
Well, when it comes to naming names, there may be a time to come on the House floor and do that. But as I mentioned, most of these women have been in the public eye, and there is a history of their relation to both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And these women, maybe they're claiming to be victims, but they were definitely groomed to be recruiters. And they are the ones who are soliciting the meetings in these emails time and time after again. You even see some of the women who worked for Jeffrey and or Ghislaine become engaged in relationships and marry same-sex marriage for citizenship purposes.
Wow.
And these women are getting their college loans paid off and going through schooling, living the billionaire lifestyle, and also sending these disgusting emails to those who I believe these young girls were trafficked to.
Okay, we look forward to a potential floor speech, House floor, in the days ahead from you. I hope you'll give us a heads up, naming some of the women as well. Let's talk specifically about a man in the cabinet right now, Howard Lutnik, the Commerce Secretary. A few months ago, he acknowledged to the New York Post that he was a neighbor of Jeffrey Epstein many, many years ago in New York, but never saw him again. Watch.
And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Really? So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Okay, so now this week, under oath at a Senate committee, Howard Lutnik changed his story. Listen.
You, in fact, make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour.
Okay, I wonder, based on what you've seen in the files, that his story is better or worse that he had his kids and wife with him, number one. Number two, do you think he should step down? Should President Trump fire him over this? Do you have more questions?
I think anyone who is named in the files certainly demands, the American people demand answers to, and that's up to President Trump on what he does with this information. But his files are unredacted and very clear, and the public can see those. And for what I'm concerned with is these particular women who were actually soliciting very grotesque emails. I have not seen any evidence of grotesqueness in the emails that you're referring to.
Okay.
Those message coordinations, but there's certainly some more salacious things that I would like to uncover and have the DOJ further investigate and truly have people held to account.
Absolutely. And to be clear, we have not gotten any specific allegations that Howard Lutnik did anything wrong. I think people are just wondering why he said one thing and changed the story. Real quick, do you give the president any credit that now, the Democrats thought they were going to corner him over the Epstein files, but we're seeing even ABC News and other in the mainstream media admitting in 2006, some 20 years ago, it was Donald Trump as a businessman who first blew the whistle and called it out. The Democrats thought they had him cornered with these files, and instead we see it was Donald Trump on the right side of history. Is that the way you see it?
Absolutely. President Trump has said from the beginning what a disgusting man Jeffrey Epstein was, that he was removed from Mar-a-Lago, that he was not allowed to have a membership there. And yes, even the left-wing media is having to admit that President Trump was grateful that that law enforcement was looking into Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes. President Trump has always said what a disgusting man Jeffrey Epstein is since he knew or became aware of what he was involved in. So I certainly applaud the president for that. And, the Democrats are going to continue to look and scour for ways to bring down the president. But they could have done something under administration after administration.
Yeah.
But it was President Trump who first convicted Jeffrey Epstein and sent him to prison. And now, under President Trump's administration, he immediately signed into law releasing the Epstein files. And we have more than 4 million files to go through and justice.
Absolutely. Real quick before we go, totally different subject, but the economy is front and center for our viewers, obviously. You've got a big midterm election coming up. You'll be facing the voters. The president got an incredible jobs report today suggesting that manufacturing in America is back with the tariffs and whatnot. You're introducing this Contracting with America First Act. Talk about these America First policies that you think are working.
Yes, so President Trump is America first, and we need to have more America first laws put into act. So when I saw that our Department of War had contracted with an international company called SAP to house its software systems, and that this company had overcharged the department by about $1 billion while not achieving basic functions, and at the same time was setting criminal charges with the DOJ, they're settling those. I couldn't believe it. But I have a bill, the Contracting America First, that will make sure American tax dollars go to American companies, creating American jobs while also protecting sensitive government information. It's really a no-brainer. America first means putting America companies first, not these corrupt international behemoths that break our laws and send jobs overseas.
Well, it's been a recipe for success for the president. We wish you well. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much, Ed.